I was like, where has this been all my life? But I am telling you, within a few days, I started noticing a difference already.
I'd love just to hear your journey, your health stories. But the first question I would ask you is, can you share any biggest health struggles that you've had in years past or currently, and what prompted you to look for women's health solutions, supplements? What kind of got you to this place?
Sure. I love that question. I would say for sure, my main issue would be BV. So I have had 4 children and I've had 4 great pregnancies, but fourth post got me good. Just 6 weeks after I delivered my son, I just started having unfamiliar issues vaginally and find out that it is bacterial vaginosis. Actually, this is a whole separate issue, but I was not properly educated by my OB at the time. I did not know that this was going to be a recurring issue that I could potentially face for the rest of my life. Totally healthy pregnancy. Everything was great. And I'd had 3 great deliveries and post prior to my 4th. And so I was just expecting that after my 4th. Oh, goodness. But boy, did he change things up for me. Went to see my OB just for some discharge issues I was having, a little bit of maybe pain and odor that was totally unfamiliar to me. Totally had no idea what was going on. So I did get diagnosed with bacterial vaginosis at that appointment. And I was given an antibiotic to treat that, which cued all these other problems. Wow. So I have allergies to more common antibiotics that are used to treat BV. So I had to go on this super strong antibiotic that basically destroyed my gut. And again, wasn't really educated by the doctors on what this antibiotic could potentially do, what BV really truly was, like that it could recur. I had heard of it before just on social media and through friendships, but never really looked into it because it wasn't something that affected me, honestly.
Yeah.
I hate to say that. I probably should have been a more supportive friend.
No, that's most people's stories. If you don't, it's not talked about, like you said.
That's so true. It's not talked about, but it's so common. Now that I have it, oh my gosh, so many people have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely something that needs to have awareness raised and lose that stigma of like embarrassment. Like, we are women, we have these issues. It's okay. We can talk about it.
So your OB kind of told you was, hey, just take this antibiotic, it'll go away, type of thing. Yeah.
That's what I was told. Yes. And so I take this antibiotic and my gut is just destroyed, and the BV symptoms did clear up for a while. I want to say a good few months. I was working on rebuilding my gut by using these really nice probiotics, but expensive, but they just made the, as well as some candida issues I was having in my gut after that round of antibiotics, just go crazy, which I was not expecting either. Again, totally just uneducated, had not done enough research. And I go back to the doctor, and what did they want to do? Another round of antibiotics. At that point, had decided I needed to move on to a different practice because I didn't want to go through the whole gut thing again. And that is when I found a midwife who actually told me about boric acid suppositories. And so I started using those, which helped a lot, but it didn't help recurrences. It didn't help prevent recurrence. We'll say that.
Sure. It kind of just attacked or took care of it in the moment, but yeah.
So that's what I was really aiming for, is preventing recurrence, right? Because you want to live your life without fear of, okay, if I'm intimate with my husband today, I might be paying for it for weeks after that. Wow. Right. So then I started that journey where I was like, I need to find something that's not going to cause these issues to continue flaring up. And so I was more on the search just specifically for a probiotic that would not cause a flare up, necessarily specifically for BV, but something that wouldn't exacerbate that issue.
Okay. So at this time, did you stop taking antibiotics? You were like, this destroyed my gut. Yeah. And then you're trying boric acid, like here and there type of thing, and then looking for a probiotic. Yeah.
So I had gotten to the point, and this is, I want to say, to give you a time period, I was probably a year and a half postpartum at this point where I was on the search. And so still at that 1.5 years, I hadn't found you guys yet. And I was trying so many different things.
What else were you trying?
So I was trying different probiotics, different enzymes. I was so worried about my gut because it wasn't just BV symptoms, which I'm starting to figure out. BV and Candida and all these other things, they just build on one another. And a lot of what I was also trying to treat was yeast overgrowth, Candida issues. For example, a coated tongue was an issue, or just actually pancreatic overworking is a thing. When you have gut imbalance, your pancreas is trying to break down those sugars so much that it gets, so there was other symptoms with that even just from taking antibiotics. And that's the first thing that doctors will throw your way when you have B is the antibiotics.
Was there anything else in that time that you were trying or looking for?
Yes, diet is a major one, which diet has been huge. So I'm actually vegan. I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary of being a whole food plant-based vegan.
Oh my gosh.
Like over the top. I only eat whole foods at this point. It has been another huge triumph in my life, how crazy diet has to do with everything, again, with our gut health and women's health, how much.
What difference in that, like eating, how do you think you've seen, if anything, with your kind of gut health and your vaginal health too?
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't just say the whole food plant-based in itself. I also am completely sugar-free, which is not attainable for everybody. Being completely sugar-free has helped prevent reoccurrence with BV. It helps not feed that candida and any yeast. So that's helped keep that at bay, and just staying hydrated with water and not soda or whatever all that is so popular. All these other drinks, these little crystal lights that are supposedly healthier and things like that. Those things have benefited me by just not exacerbating the issues that are there. I wouldn't say that diet has cured those issues, but it has helped not let them become worse.
Yeah. So were you struggling at all with yeast infections?
So not yeast infections vaginally. My candida issues were physical itching, a coated tongue. And so this is probably TMI, but in intimacy with my husband, if we were to do anything oral and then have penetration, then I would start having yeast issues because the yeast was orally there. Then I would start having all these vaginal issues with itching and odor and things. And I'm like, there's a whole nother problem that I would have to deal with. Come on, help me out.
Yeah, no, that's good because most people don't even know that or talk about how it can show up in different ways. Yeah, for sure. So you're trying different things. Diet, boric acid here and there, different prebiotics. Tell me your journey to finding out about Happy V, and how did you hear about Happy V?
Yes. So this is something I had been doing all along. It's just I would try probiotic and it wouldn't work out, and I would just give the rest to a friend or something and then go back online and search again. And that's how I ended up finding you guys, finding Happy V. So I was doing that whole process, and I was doing actually through Google search, and I saw on Amazon first.
Okay.
And it caught my attention because it said Happy V, and I instantly was like, that means vagina. And so I was like, I want a Happy V. So I ordered the pre and probiotic after just reading. Specifically, it was for women. It was for vaginal issues, and you specifically mentioned BV. And so I was like, where has this been all my life, really?
Yes.
And honestly, just from even ordering it, it hadn't even gotten to my house yet. I was just so full of hope. And it had been so long since I felt like that. I was so excited
to try something. I love that. Yeah.
Just specifically for these issues that I was having. There was just nothing specific for that, right? So I'm over there trying to treat a specific issue by using things that aren't tailored for that issue, which is a struggle in itself, really.
Yeah.
So I was super excited.
So you started with the pre and probiotic.
Yes. Started with that. And I know that a lot of times probiotics can take weeks to really see the full effects, but I am telling you, it was within a week, within a few days, I started noticing a difference already. Just that I was actually in the middle of a BV occurrence when I started. and I had been treating with the boric acid suppositories, and it just wiped it out so fast. Whereas before, if I was in the middle of a full-blown infection, it would take probably about 3 weeks of suppository treatment, no intimacy, being super careful during those 3 weeks.
Mm.
And I was about a week in when I started, and it was gone within a few days. Like, I had no more symptoms. And so I was like, no way.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And then have you tried any other products as well from Happy V?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Since then, I had found that you guys did your own subscription outside of Amazon, which I always prefer to do it that way. I don't know why. I just like supporting the actual website business. So I started looking on your website and seeing what else you guys had. I saw you had Chlorophyll, and I had been wanting to try that. So I got that into my subscription. I think it was the first month that I went through your website. I added that on. Again, major game changer.
Really? How is it been for you? Yeah.
So as a photographer, sometimes I work really long days on project sets. And so, I don't know, I'm a hugger. And so like at the end of the day, when I'm saying bye to the team, I'm doing those little like T-Rex hugs because I have underarm odor. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the T-Rex hug.
Or I don't want you to see even that way you can see on me. I'm sweating on my
Yes. Yes, same. I get that. So yeah, I don't even have to think about that. I have so little body odor just naturally anymore. Just taking the chlorophyll consistently.
It's since adding the liquid chlorophyll into
your
Okay. How do you like to take it?
I personally just take it straight by mouth, 2 droppers full, and then I'll chase it down with aloe. I drink aloe juice each morning. So I take that and enzymes, which I haven't gotten to yet. A whole nother game changer with those. Yeah.
That's crazy. So the liquid chlorophyll has helped you no odors.
Yes, so much. Which was honestly so unexpected. Did not plan for that.
Is there any specific features or ingredients, sounds like you've really done your research, that in Happy V products that you believe sets them apart from all the other brands and all the other supplements that you were taking before?
Yeah, for sure. So I will speak to that, just that the strains and the probiotic and the certain enzymes that you use specifically targeting BV symptoms is, in my research, I haven't found it anywhere else.
Wow.
I'm sure you guys do have some competition somewhere in that area, but I have not found it. And so just that alone, being specifically for women's health, specifically for your vaginal health, that is what sets you guys apart for me.
That's awesome. How do you incorporate Happy V, so taking the liquid chlorophyll and the pre and pro, in your daily routine? What's your kind of flow? Do you have one in the morning or later? Love to hear how different people do their little routine.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, it's so easy because I just associate with my first and last meals of the day. So every morning before breakfast, I take the enzymes. I take the 2 capsules of enzymes and then the 2 droppers full of chlorophyll right before breakfast every single day. So it's easy to remember because
great.
For sure. And then at night, I always eat popcorn while I edit pictures or whatever I'm doing. And so every night, right when I'm eating my popcorn, I'll take my probiotics with that. Never forget.
How would you say your health overall is to now? Yes, it can be from Happy V really helping, but I know you've talked about how it's hurt your sex life, intimate life with your partner. What are some of the positives that you're experiencing that you weren't before?
So overall, I would say I have had so much more freedom in just choosing what and when I can do something that I want to do. Like I would say I have so much more freedom in sex with my husband. I don't feel I have to plan it out, or honestly, sometimes waiting weeks between intimacy because of a flare up going on. That's no longer there. I haven't had a single issue since I started with Happy V. It's so nice. I just feel like my old self again.
I can just even tell when you talk about your confidence kind of came back.
So
what are some of those, I know you mentioned before, besides being intimate, like other things that you were maybe not able to do that?
Yeah. So one major thing, it's unrelated to vaginal health, but because of the gut health issue, and just my liver and pancreas being so overworked, trying to deal with all those bacterial overgrowth things happening inside me.
Yeah.
I was struggling to eat just normal foods. Like I used to love eating like peanut butter on bread. Okay. And if I ate peanut butter, like the fat in the peanut butter would overwhelm my body and I would feel nauseous and just sluggish. And the enzymes have changed that so much for me. So I just have so much more dietary freedom now too.
Yeah.
To where like I used to take an enzyme that you had to take anytime you ate something that would irritate you, which you guys recommend you can do that with yours as well. But I find that if I just take the 2 capsules first thing in the morning, I'm good for the entire day. And that was not the case before. Like I was like always worried about if I ate this now, am I going to be in pain later? Or am I going to be, just suffering consequences from eating this food? And so there's a lot more freedom there for me too.
Okay. And those are with different digestive enzymes that you said you're taking, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so how do you plan on incorporating Happy V into your long-term wellness plan that you have?
I just kind of plan to stay consistent with it. And that is so easy thanks to your subscription. Like I never have to be like, oh no, I'm out. Let me go get more. Like it's always just right there for me every day.
If you could go back and tell Rebekah that right after you had your last kiddo, what you were experiencing then, all the different emotions, maybe not feeling like you had support or someone to talk to. Maybe there's other women out there that are going through that, especially like postpartum. What kind of tips, words of advice would you give to yourself back then or to other women right now walking through feeling hopeless and what do I do next?
I would just say like you are not alone. There are so many people going through this with you and have been through it and will go through it sadly at some point. And the more that we can share one another's burdens and just talk freely about it, the better it's going to be for all of us. So just be open and be willing to hear from others and ask questions and don't be embarrassed.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. Did you find, I'm just curious, have you found other people to process with, confide in? Maybe it's your partner, or did you find a new doctor, or what has happened for you?
Yes, I did find a new doctor who is not necessarily in the traditional medicine field, I guess you could say. She's a midwife and she mostly does like home practice. So she's been a huge help, just telling me what I said. You're not alone. This is normal. There are options for you. You don't have to just do this one thing that's causing all these other issues. You have options. So she's been awesome. I do have another friend that goes through it, and we were both embarrassed to talk about it at first, but once we just got it out there, we talk about it to each other all the time now, and it's no big deal.